Hello and welcome to a video review of the Wild Safari Dinos Apatosaurus by www.everythingdinosaur.com. Most of the major model manufacturers carry an Apatosaurus, formerly known as a Brontosaurus, in their model ranges, despite the problems involved in accurately depicting a 30-ton and 20-metre long animal, with a long tail and a relatively small head. Indeed, the lack of skull material in sauropods is a major headache, no pun intended, for paleontologists. Relatively complete and articulated skeletons of these huge creatures are exceptionally rare, so reconstructing the anatomical and morphological features is a difficult task. Their work is hampered by the fact that in the course of the animal's carcass rotting, the small head often becomes detached from the long neck and not preserved as a fossil. Very little skull material for Apatosaurus is known, despite numerous fossil bone discoveries, particularly in the famous Upper Jurassic deposits of the Morrison Formation of the western United States. Now to the Wild Safari Dinos Apatosaurus model. The new Apatosaurus model from Safari Limited, which I happen to have here, reflects new interpretations of the Apatosaurus fossil material. The model has a number of differences compared to the earlier Safari replicas, and indeed when compared to the recently introduced robust Apatosaurus from Schleck of Germany, which I also happen to have with me today. The robust Apatosaurus from Schleck and the new Wild Safari Dinos Apatosaurus from Safari Limited of the United States. Attaching the word graceful to an Apatosaurus model does not seem quite appropriate, but there is no doubting it, the new Safari Apatosaurus does represent a less stocky, lighter animal. The tail, for instance, depicted in the correct pose, being held directly behind the body and clear of the ground, is long and thin, and not as deep set as in other replicas introduced recently. The neck is shorter and held in a swan-like posture, reflecting the recent controversies in scientific circles as to the degree of neck movement and flexibility the likes of Apatosaurus had. The skin texture is very detailed and has an elephantine quality. But even here the designers at Safari have challenged current model making convention. Instead of being coloured in monotone grey, the usual colouring for a large sauropod model, this particular interpretation has subtle, darker shading on the neck, back, along the tail and above the prominent hips. Although this model is not to any particular scale, it is still an impressive 34 centimetres long, and the head stands 12 centimetres off the ground. The smaller size compared to the huge Schleck model, the Wild Safari Dino Apatosaurus, the Schleck Apatosaurus, the Wild Safari Dino Apatosaurus. The huge size of the Schleck model compared to the smaller, lighter model of the Wild Safari Dinos Apatosaurus. The smaller size compared to the Schleck replica will make this a favourite amongst young children, as it is easy to handle and it is more child friendly, allowing it to be used in creative imaginative play. It is interesting to note the details on the feet. On the front feet, only the large thumb claw is depicted. The other digits have no claws. Whilst an enlarged thumb claw is acknowledged, we were surprised to see no evidence of any of the claws on the front limbs. This does not detract too much from the model. We particularly like the saggy folds of skin around the neck and the well painted and detailed features of the skull, especially around the eye. So that's the Wild Safari Dinos Apatosaurus model. Oh, thank you, fellow dinosaur expert. And for every model that we supply, our experts write their very own Apatosaurus fact sheet for you to read all about this amazing sauropod. So that's www.everythingdinosaur.com, run by parents, teachers and real dinosaur experts for all your dinosaur merchandise needs. We're based in the United Kingdom, and why not visit our blog http://blog.everythingdinosaur.co.uk for all the up-to-date information and articles on dinosaur discoveries. Thank you.